Right, Captain America: Brave New World. We did our pre-release box office predictions. The opening box office wasn't particularly great. It didn't cross $200 million worldwide opening weekend. Wasn't that good. It is a terrible film. It's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. It has really bad word of mouth. And now it's predicted to have a 70% drop in its second weekend. So that is, I mean, ultimately is looking like it's going to break records for Marvel in terms of its worst box office performances. Not over it, not 100% worse, because obviously that goes to the Marvels, but it will be up there. It won't be. So yeah, not a major surprise, to be honest. Now I will say this, just as an FYI, 70% drop off. The average is 60, so it's not actually as high as I thought it would be. I thought it would be a bit higher. But still, 70% is pretty massive. That's a pretty major drop off. Like, pretty goddamn major. So projections indicate that the film will plummet around 70% in domestic earnings, bringing in just over $30 million in its sophomore frame. If this trajectory holds, its worldwide haul for the second weekend will struggle to surpass. Its worldwide haul will struggle to surpass 50 million. That doesn't make sense. Putting its long-term prospects in jeopardy. Should the film fail to reach the crucial $400 million global benchmark as it winds down its theatrical window, it will go down as one of Marvel's biggest misfires and an outright embarrassment. This is an embarrassment for a few reasons, though, because it's already a pre-established franchise within the Marvel franchise, right? America is a pre-established franchise. If this doesn't do, geez, that's bad. So the projected 70% drop is among the worst declines ever for an MCU film, placing Brave New World in the same company as the Marvels and possibly Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania struggled to sustain momentum. I think it ended up with like 475 million worldwide, if I remember rightly off the top of my head. So it's not doing
that. Yeah, that sounds right.
It's not doing well at all. Pretty damn terrible, all things considered, because the other movies did really, really well. Really well. Captain America: Civil War, 1.15 billion. Winter Soldier, First Avenger, 714 million, 370 million. I mean, these are good numbers. This is an established franchise. So I don't have much else to say on this, guys. I'll let you chime in on this now.
Well, I think we're looking at a realistic world here in which 400 million is going to be in question whether they can even hit that benchmark. In which case, for a movie that, despite what the mainstream media wants to have you believe, has a break-even point of around $900 million, Disney's going to take a $500 million loss on this. It's going to be massive. It's going to be completely damaging. And it's crazy because the media has surrounded this movie and tried to protect it by trying to say, no, the budget was 190 million. Okay, well, what about actual costs? You reshot this thing 4 times. You cut entire characters out and then brought in new characters, and you pieced it all together like Frankenstein's monster with some of the worst green screen effects I've ever seen in my life. And that includes watching YouTube videos. Culture has a better green screen right now than Captain America did at one point.
Thank you.
The movie was just absolutely abysmal. It was everything wrong with modern Marvel, and just a stunning indictment on how far it's fallen since Endgame. They turned Sam Wilson into a one-dimensional character who's all of a sudden a lot more proficient than he ever was before. This is the guy that got his butt handed to him by Ant-Man, for God's sake, and now he's untouchable and he's fighting the Hulk. It's an insane film. It's terrible, and it's getting exactly what it deserves. Everyone keeps trying to spin this as a positive, and they're saying well, it might drop 70%, but it's still gonna be number 1 at the box office. I said, well, that's not great for the box office.
That's the weirdest. Yeah, that's the weirdest cope ever, right? I mean, and then look, you know what will be really strange, guys, is if Cleaner somehow keeps it competitive with Captain America.
Well, and you know what? Even if it's number 1 in the box office here, it lost in the UK last weekend. It was number 2 behind Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy.
Yeah.
Which is a Peacock original that doesn't even have a theatrical run in the United States. It's direct to Peacocks. It's a streaming movie, but it got a theatrical run, I think, in France and England. So, or France and the UK. So, people don't. I never thought a rom-com, even like the sequel to a popular rom-com, could beat a major tentpole Marvel movie like this. And this is supposed to be a major tentpole movie. Captain America is one of the major tentpole Marvel characters. Sad.
And this was supposed to establish a new Avengers as well, remember?
Yeah, they tried a couple times to drop that. The post-credit scene was just laughably ridiculous. Instead of like putting over the Thunderbolts, which is what they should have done, they decided to tease an Avengers movie that no one wants. When everybody wants to watch Captain America, Captain Sam America, Captain Falcon team up with the Marvels.
Yeah, this isn't going to go well. And the leader at the end of the movie I was like, this is so dumb. Of course, there's a big bad guy coming. Oh no.
He didn't even drop like let's see if you like survive Doomsday or something like that. I thought there was gonna be something like that, but we got nothing. And the leader was an interesting concept that I think could have worked really well in an Incredible Hulk sequel 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And again,
way too late for all this stuff.
Well, and that's the problem, right? Is that they waited too long for a Black Widow movie. They waited too long for a Hulk sequel. They were supposed to have made a Hulk movie. It was one of the big bitches that soy cuck Mark Ruffalo was complaining about. And I mean, that dude, like, he sweats, cries, and just breathes soy 24/7. What a puss. Anyway. Sorry,
I've never heard you like this.
I don't have a high opinion of the guy.
Have you had your Wheaties this morning or something, Culture? What's going on with you, bud?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Are you really?
I'm taking swings, baby. That's all right. That's good.
Yeah, okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, the cope from everyone is pretty crazy, to be honest. The cope is mental. You can see little Cece there with a little nappy on, bless her. Right. Anyway, this will be fascinating to watch, like how much it's going to plummet. Because what I was hoping them to do. I didn't want it to make money, obviously. I don't care either way. But what I was hoping was for it to sort of get like a slight bump, or not a massive fall off in its second week, and then they'll be like, see, people were just busy on Valentine's Day. That's why it didn't really, do very well last opening weekend. But nah. That it's just going to tank, which is equally as hilarious, to be honest. So.
But you know what? It used to be like a Marvel film. Your girlfriend would want to go see it because everybody's girlfriend was into Marvel. That was why they like that was how they misunderstood what their audience was and thought that they had a major female audience that was going to go see if they made it all female movies, not realizing they just wanted to see Chris Hemsworth with his shirt off.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
No.
Do you want to see something even funnier, though?
Sure.
Captain America must die in China.
Oh, I love this.
What?
Have you guys seen this?
I have not seen this.
Right. Well, I want to get a special mention, Marvin, and a link to my video when you do an article on it, because I've already done a video on it, mate. Basically, everyone's getting mental in China for this film, Ne Zha 2. But they've become like really nationalist about it. And they're like, yeah, Captain America must die. How dare they release Captain America the same day that this movie's come out, and blah, blah, blah. It's mental. So, here's some of the stuff. So basically, if you criticize the movie Ne Zha 2, you're a clout chasing hater and you're being paid to hate on it, apparently. But because Captain America Brave New World came out at the same time, it's being seen as a rival to it. So even like China hates, I mean, it didn't earn anything in China. It was absolutely abysmal in China. $10.6 million is nothing. So someone goes, this is a popular slogan currently in China. I don't care if Ne Zha 2 can survive overseas, but Captain America 4 must die in China.
Well, it's going to.
Well,
Big time.
100%. It's just funny though. It's like so funny. Chinese news outlets and social media, people are gloating over Captain America bombing, which is hilarious. So like, it's not Captain America that's dying, but America that's dying.
Ugh. Well, if you listen to Anthony Mackie, Captain America doesn't represent America, so don't bring us into this mess.
This is true. Someone else says, in reality, the US does not have superheroes, and the US is not a peace-loving, peace-defending beacon for humanity. Ah, yes, I'll take lessons on humanity from Check Notes, the Chinese Communist Party with slave labor camps. Right. Okay. Cool. So one cinema in Sichuan province reportedly decided to hold off showing Captain America 4 in order to support Nizar 2.
I'm assuming that Nizar 2, being that it exists in China and was made in China, was made by the Chinese government because everything is. So yeah, I'm starting to think that there might be some, something else behind this push for this movie. I think President Xi wants to beat Captain America.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, maybe. I think the point is, and this is why I included this in here as well, is that Hollywood has and American studios have caved to pressure from China for a very long time. And what this movie proves is that China doesn't need Hollywood. And that's what it's proven to China themselves, right? That's actually part of this article, is that, China doesn't need Hollywood. But Hollywood has attempted to curry favor with China for so long that they've disenfranchised even, the Western audience with some of the stuff that they did, because it was pretty egregious. But I just thought this was funny. So there you go. Captain America's a big old pile of poop.
I predicted this going way back to when I first started doing YouTube. I said this is the path that the Chinese will go. They do it in every single industry. They invite other people in to teach them how to do something, and then they make it their own. And that's exactly what they did with Hollywood. And I'm going to tell you, going forward, there is no reason, if you are a Hollywood studio, to release a film in China. It's not worth the potential 20% take you get from the box office, if they're even honest about it, or give you your money. I think we're going to run into a lot of problems with China, because despite the international reporting of their propaganda to the rest of the world, their economy is not in great shape. They are not doing well. They have a population collapse in the next 5 years that will make it so that production goods will be down so substantially that they will lose their position as a exporter of any note. That's what's going to happen. So
we're seeing it happen in gaming too. China's moving into gaming.
Yeah, but it doesn't take much to move into that particular space. You just have to be better than BioWare. BioWare sucks big ass, and so anything that doesn't suck big ass is going to surpass them. There you go.
We've got a super chat about this from Kalechi for $2 over on Streamlabs. Says apparently Nizar 2 has grossed over $1 billion and is among the top 20 box office films of all time. Most of its box office is from the international box office. Is the majority of that box office from China, because nobody's heard of that movie there. Actually, just to let you know just how good it's done, and it is pretty mental. It grossed it crossed over $1 billion in less than 2 weeks. I mean, that is crazy.
That's
less than 2
insane.
weeks, over $1 billion.
So safe to say that it's going to beat Captain America.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, it's at 1.7 billion. It's now the highest grossing animated film of all time. Now, I don't know whether that's true, though, remember, because do we independently verify the Chinese box office? We don't know, do we, actually? Could that be Chinese propaganda? Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, so this is unseated Inside Out 2, then?
Yeah.
It's the highest grossing animated film of all time. Oh, well, there you go. Disney likes to kowtow to China, and China just ate their lunch.
Yeah. It's mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mental. So there you go, guys. Captain America's going to bomb. China hates it. They want him to die. Let's move on.